Hey everyone, it's Johnny, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about my Scentsy Empties, which you can probably see, there's more off camera, have accumulated because I have not been doing this regularly to not have them accumulate. So we're going to dive right in. There are some things in here like the Mother's Day 2 cents, the Father's Day 2 cents, the upcoming summer trio or whatever they're called, I don't know. Tinkerbell's in here somewhere. Couple other ones, so we'll some scents of the month over the past couple months, so we're gonna cover them all and let me know what you think. All right, so diving right in, I got through a brick. I think this is the first, no, that's not true, this is probably like the second or third brick in my life I've gotten through, but I got through a brick of pink poinsettia. I was determined to worm this, not because I hate the scent or anything, but I just wanted, I was getting closer to being done, and I was like, okay, let's just floralize the house with poinsettias. This is a beautiful kind of fresh, I know it's like marketed towards the winter time, but it can go for spring. It's kind of like a uniseason sort of scent in that sense. It's a nice kind of sweet floral with like almost a berry tone to it and a little earthen undertone. So yes, it is a, you know, winter scent supposedly, but at the end of the day, you can warm whatever you want. You can warm Christmas trees if you want in the middle of July. So I like that fragrance. I don't think it's in my club anymore. I had it in there for a little while, but I'm kind of purging out things that to make room for newer scents and newer adventures. All right, let's dive right in. We'll just go to this pile because it's right behind me. So I got through a bar of Ariel the Little Mermaid. Under the Sea is the fragrance. This is a beautiful, aquatic, dewy, floral, very spa vibes. It's a little bit more on the, more, I want to say like pungent is not the word I'm looking for, but it's a little bit more biting than some of our other spa scents like Daydream Oasis. It's still a beautiful scent, but it is a stronger scent, so just be mindful because some of our Disney bars are more soft scent in delivery. This one is not one of them. Okay, you will feel like you are in a just fresh out of the shower, and it's like florals and Under the Sea, and you'll be under the sea yourself. All right, great fragrance in my club at the moment. Probably will stay there. Banana Leaf and Bamboo. This is in our new 10 new releases, spring summer. This is a beautiful fragrance. It's not my favorite of the top or of the 10 new ones, but it's in like the top 5. You definitely get banana leaf, and you definitely get a bamboo note, but this is not quite as cucumber heavy as, say, Sunburst Bamboo was, where it was bamboo and cucumber, primarily. This one is more of the, like, the true bamboo scent, and then banana leaf gives a green note, and there's, like, a fresh overtone to this as well. I don't have the scent notes with me, but this is a very strong performer, so that's another great thing. So you're looking for a fresh sort of summery tropical scent without all like the fruits and all the other nonsense mixed in. This is a great one to pick up. All right, next we have Woodland Meadow. This is one of the other 10 new releases, and this is more mellow and muted. This is more of a foresty scent, but it's also not a traditional forest scent, so you're not like in the trees and like the fallen leaves underfoot and that sort of like earthen sort of scent. It's a little bit different of an earthen scent. It's more of like the field, as it says, Woodland Meadow. So it's like you've walked through the woods and there's like this clearing. Julie Andrews is singing to the children, who knows, whatever is happening. And you get a slight hint of floral, but it's more just greenery and like a little earth note to it, like a moss dirt note. But it's more fresh. It's a good, I think this is a good bathroom scent. I don't know that I would necessarily warm this throughout the house, but then again, just depends on what your scent palette prefers. It's a medium scent. It's not one of the strongest ones from the new collection, but it does hold its own throughout the day at the very least. So there is that. It is not in my club. Got through a bar of Phineas and Ferb Best Day Ever. This is an older bar. This is very similar to, I'm trying to remember which one I'm thinking of. It's like Rainfall and Lush Greens, if you ever smelled that one, but with more of a fruity note to it. And I like this scent, but the fruity note to it does come out a little bit more predominantly. And if you're looking for just like a sort of spa aquatic scent, this one tends to get that extra zing of fruitiness. And for me, like, I have a few more bars of this. I will enjoy them, but I did pull this out of my club because it's no longer quite the same. Like, my club's out of control. It's always out of control. But, like, I want to make sure that I keep bars that I truly want to have coming back versus, oh, I like it and I don't know if it'll come back again. I'm like, that's hardly ground to keep something. Soak and Raise is one of the other new 10 ones. This is a beautiful scent. This actually was probably the one bar out of the 10 that really surprised me from cold to warm. A lot of the other ones were kind of what I expected, good, bad, or ugly. This one I had very minimal expectations for, and then it blew me away. So this one may be club worthy. I haven't decided yet. But on cold, it gives me more of that like ozone-y, Febreze kind of undertone to it. But when it's warmed, that's where the magic happens, and it kind of mellows out, and you get really more of what the intended fragrance profile for it is. That sort of like sun-soaked rays, you know, a little bit of florals, like ocean air, crisp air, whatever it's supposed to be, some air. But I highly recommend trying this one. I was pleasantly surprised, and it performs really well. It's great fresh scent, very clean. Next, I got through NHL's Fresh Ice. This is a licensed bar, and it's great. It smells kind of like a fresh ice rink. Like if you go out skating at a ice rink of any sort, or like a hockey game, and you get that bite of cold, chilled air. This really does a great job to emulate that scent. Now, that being said, as much as it had like a nostalgic tinge, because I used to ice skate when I was little, I did pull this out of my club. I think it's a wonderful scent. I hope it will keep coming back with the NHL licensing that we have when that season's around. But I decided that I did not need to keep it in my club anymore. Prince Ali, this is one that I'm actually warming today. And this is a nice citrus spiced cologne sort of scent. It's more citrus cologne with a hint of spice, so don't get freaked out by the spice comment. I'm not a spice person, so when I say spice, it's very different from someone who's like a spice fanatic. Okay, this is not Dune the movie. We're not like the spice is not life, okay? This has a very nice orangish sort of citrus warmth to it, in an otherwise sort of soft cologne scent. This is a softer scent, I will say. Like, to put it in perspective, I'm warming like the entire bar in this room and adjacent bathroom, and it's still very soft. So it's definitely like our earlier Disney bars tended to be a lot softer in formulation, which not necessarily a bad thing, but this one would have been awesome to see with a little bit more strength and performance. But it's a beautiful scent. And it's not in my club because I joined after that way existed. All right, next is Cashmere and Corduroy. This is a fall-winter scent usually. And you get that cozy note with an uplifting bergamot undertone. So this is an interesting scent because, again, this is sort of like one of those temperamental ones where some days I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And other days I'm like, I don't know if I want to warm this. But the last time I warmed it, I was very happy with it because I was kind of on the wall, like, do I want to keep this in my club? Do I not? And after warming through a bar, I made the decision to keep it. All right, next we have some Scentspirations Mango Wildflower. So we did like a Scentspirations for Vanilla Bean Buttercream a while back in the fall or winter. And then we did like this mango one more recently. It was like Mango Wildflower, Mango Margarita, and Mango Lemon or Strawberry or something shortcake. Maybe it was just Mango Shortcake, I don't know. But this is, I got 2 of the 3 because I didn't want the shortcake one. This is Mango Wildflower. This smells like a shampoo, like a mango floral shampoo. Like I expect Herbal Essences or what's that Australian brand with the kangaroo, the purple bottle that they used to have. I don't remember. But one of them to have like this fragrance, or Garnier Fructis made a shampoo, and this would be what it would smell like. It's not bad, but it is very much like shampoo vibes to me. Don't really get much of the floral in this. I get more of like a sweet, like I said, shampoo with mango notes to it. It's not a bad fragrance, but not what I expected. And I feel like I wasn't thoroughly like thrilled with the mango tones in any of the mango collection that I did try. Although, moving on to this one, the mango margarita, this one actually smelled like a mango margarita. Like, it wasn't overly boozy, so you didn't get like a tequila note underneath this that to like just bring down the whole mood or anything, or bring up the whole mood depending on how you feel about tequila fragrance. I like to imbibe it. I don't necessarily like to waft it around the apartment. But you do get a nice sweet mango, lime, citrusy sort of fragrance, and I did really enjoy this bar, but when it was done, it was done. Like, it was like, bye, have a nice day. We are out of this beverage. Please go home. Have some water on the way. So that was kind of a little bit of a bummer. But that's okay. I expected like fruity sort of based scents to kind of not linger as long. But while it was there, it was good. I should have enjoyed and indulged in my own variant on this while I warmed it, but that's on me. Neither one of those are in my club, though. Next, I got through Flower Shop. This came back in the Bring Back My Bar last time, I believe. It's literally like walking into a florist shop and into like the refrigerator and just taking a big whiff. It's nice if you like that fresh cut stems sort of scent. I got a couple bars of this. I put it in my club temporarily. And then after warming it, I decided that I'm okay without it. I have other floral scents that I prefer. And while I do enjoy this one, it was like between this one and say like the old scent of the month, spring, what is it? Spring Forward? I think it's called Spring Has Sprung. That's what it's called. That one. Like, when I have something like that, I don't need this one. So, as much as I enjoyed it, it is going back. Peppermint Rush was from the Bring Back My Bar. This is like a peppermint candy / with vanilla or something, if I remember correctly. Anyways, I wasn't super fond of this one. It smelled too candy for me. I love Perfect Peppermint because it's just straight up peppermint. And if I want a peppermint scent, that's usually one of my go-tos, or Peppermint Dreams or something like that. This one was just kind of like, well, it's strong, but I don't want my house to smell like a hard candy. All right. Next, we got through a bar of Sheer Woods. I don't remember where I got this. I think this is on a clearance sale. It's nice. It's like a musky, like blonde wood sort of scent. Not super strong, not very in your face, kind of like a lingering musk in the room. Very nice for a bedroom, I would say, or a small room, but it's kind of forgettable. Like, there was nothing like wow about this. It was just like, oh, okay, cool. So I wouldn't recommend it, but you know, I had hopes, didn't quite make them. Inhale, Exhale. This is a January scent of the month a couple years back. And I have finally removed this one from my club. I still have the Himalayan salt warmers, the white and the pink one that came with this when it was introduced. I love those warmers. Oh my god, they're great warmers. I think we still have the pink one in our catalog. Anyways, this one is a great scent. It's very transformative, but it's an amalgamation of scents. It like keeps shifting throughout the day, and it's a lot. It's strong, and it's in your face, and it was very much controversial when it came out because it was like either you loved it or you hated it. There was really no like, I sort of kind of like it. It was one or the other. It was very polarizing. I loved it. Over time, I have, I don't think necessarily my scent profiles or loves have necessarily changed that dramatically, but as I fine-tuned which ones are the most awe-inspiring for me, this kind of finally, sadly, did not make the cut. I still have it in a room spray, so I'm not like super worried. I have, generally my rule of thumb is just in terms of storage capacity and for longevity, I will tend to buy room sprays of all the fragrances I'm interested in, even if I just like them a little bit. That way, if I ever have a craving for like that random one scent, but I don't have the bar of it and I don't want to like go through the hassle of having it like nauseate me all day long, I can spritz the room spray throughout the room and enjoy it until it wafts away and be happy with that. So I will still have the fragrance, just not in, well, I think I have a couple wax bars left of it, so I'm okay. Just kidding. Got through a bar of Silver Bells. This is one of my ride or die fragrances. I have so many bars of this on hand, and I'm not mad about it. This is Such a unique scent, and some people don't like it because it does have all sorts of different things, and there's like caramel note and a vanilla note, and I'm not a big caramel person. There's a slight pear note to this. If you're not a pear person, it's not a big deal. There's a mint note to this. There's like a sweet but also like mellow richness. I don't know how to describe it. The scent profile is better for it. I don't have the description in front of me, but this will always stay in my club. I do have room sprays of this too, but I have a huge bar stash of this, so I will, whenever I feel like having silver bells or singing that song, I will have the appropriate wax for it. Velvet Moon is another recent bar that we had. And I have this in my club, but now that I'm smelling it again, because I was kind of on the wall about it, I think I'm going to pull it out of my club. I like it. It's a cozy, sort of like bedroomy, slightly romantic scent. It's like not quite as cozy and delicious and romantic as Cozy Cardigan might be. It has more of a fresh tone to it. But there's also a hint of like a powder note that I'm not particularly fond of, so... Or like a musk undertone that just isn't doing it for me. But again, I have this in a room spray, so as much as I'm like, oh, so sad, it's not like the end of the world. Sweet Cucumber is next. I think I picked this up randomly too. Can't even smell it in here anymore, but I can tell you it did smell like a very sweet cucumber scent. And that was just about it. And it performed decently. Like, it definitely was like, woo, okay, sweet cucumber. I don't know if it was an authentic cucumber. It was definitely sweetened. So if you're looking for like fresh cucumber, or like spritzed with water, you weren't gonna get like an English cucumber out of this. But it was an interesting experience. I wasn't mad about it. All right, next we have, we'll go over here. We'll kind of go around in a circle. Wally Classified. I picked up a bar of this on clearance, I think. And this is a green, semi-tropical sort of scent, but not nearly as pungent as something like, I think it was Rainforest Bungalow. But it's along those lines. It's like a more balanced version of that scent, where that one had some very, I won't say putrid, but pungent notes that really would get you either like hyped about it or not so great about it. This is a more mellow green, slightly dewy sort of tone, lushness, with some other things in it, I'm sure. I can't remember. It was clearly not that exciting. But it was nice. Like, I warmed it again, and I was like, yes, I did not make the mistake of not putting it in my club and being sad. From another one of our 10 from this season, Raspberry Hibiscus Tea. I keep going back and forth as to whether or not I love or just like this fragrance. It's very frustrating because I love the raspberry note to this. I love the tea note to this. I'm not sure I love the hibiscus note to it. And on certain parts of the warming, I absolutely adore the whole thing. And other parts of the warming, I'm kind of like, So this is a scent that I may have to get another bar of at some point next time I put in an order, and decide whether or not this is going to be the keep or get rid of collection. Speaking of, I have to remember to get the Bring Back My Bar winners kit soon, I think, because June is coming up. So this one, like I was telling you earlier about Flower Shop, this is Spring is Sprung. This is February or March, I think, scent of the month at one point. This is fresh spring florals and like outside, like what I expect, like when I walk outside and smell the garden. Like, it gives you enough of those like fresh florals that are cut from like Flower Shop, but without being like you're just being thrown into the florist's refrigerator and slammed in there. So I think this is a great, balanced, wonderful scent. I'm sad that it hasn't come back. I thought it was phenomenal, but what can I say? Sometimes what I would have thought doesn't always happen. Sugar Blossom. This one's next. This is not a bakery scent, even though it's in that category in this catalog for some ungodly reason. I assume it's a formatting thing more than anything else, because this is not a bakery scent. You get florals and like a almost citrusy tone to this, and it's slightly sweet, but it's a floral scent. It's like floral citrus, not bakery whatsoever. And it's an okay scent. I wasn't like head over heels about it. I was like, I could take it or leave it. Performed okay. Nothing to write home about. I do have a video on like the top 10 releases worm reviews that I did a while back. So if you're more interested in more in-depth review of those, check that out. Kind of move forward with this. Got through sparkling yellow. Actually, I think I'm wearing this today too. And this is basically like Be Fabulous was without the grapefruit note. Like it's more lemon, but it still has the sparkling effervescence to it and that sort of same lingering, almost musky undertone to it. That's nice and wonderful for a citrus scent. But this is a more lemony cousin of that grapefruit scent. So right now this is in my club since it came back and I wasn't expecting it to. Will it stay there? I don't know because I have Be Fabulous in my club and that's still, I'm pretty sure, my ride or die one last time I checked. So, but who knows? Maybe I want the lemon variant because we don't have very many lemon scents that I'm like super jazzed about. Star Apple and Freesia is next. I wormed this. This is actually pretty good. I couldn't remember if I liked this or not. So I picked up a bar and you do get the apple. It's a more mellow. It's not a Johnny Appleseed kind of apple. And you do get the floral freesia in there for sure. As it warms and lingers throughout the day, you get more of the freesia than you do the apple, which is fairly typical because fruit scents are usually top notes and they disappear first. But even as it mellowed out through the day, I still enjoyed it. So that was pleasantly surprising because sometimes freesia scents are a little overwhelming for me. Yeah. It's a good one. It's not going to go in my club, but I'm probably going to pick up a room spray of it. All right. We'll save this one for when we talk about Mother's Day stuff. All right. Keeping going. We have Autumn Stroll. This is a Bring Back My Bar. This is like a peppered cinnamon cologne sort of scent. And I liked it. It's like one of the very few cinnamon scents that I actually rather enjoy, which is weird. I think it's because it's peppered and not just straight up cinnamon. But I feel like, again, even though it is unique and I enjoy this scent profile, I have other autumnal and fall and cologne and woodsy scents that better fit my scent interests. So while this is more unique than, say, some of the other ones, I don't think this is going to stay in my club. I haven't pulled it out yet, but I might have to say goodbye to that one. It's nice, but it's still cinnamon at the end of the day. Picked up a bar of Keep It Sassy. If I remember correctly, this is like a cherry lemony sort of scent. Very nice. Performs rather well. Yeah, it's great. It's kind of like the cherry limeade, but it's cherry with lemon, and it's not fizzy. And I really appreciate that. It's like a cherry that's not overwhelming and like noxious. So I do appreciate this one. I do not have it in my club, but I wanted a couple bars of it. So that was one of the bars I bought. Cucumber Lime. This was from the Bring Back My Bar. Lovely fresh scent. You definitely get the cucumber. You definitely get the lime note. I had this in my club. I decided to remove this one as well. Not because I don't think it's a terrible fragrance, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I need to run home and huff my warmers. And I think what I'm slowly doing over time, it's going to take me a long time, don't worry, is paring down those scents that are ones that I just liked versus ones that I absolutely can't live without. Because when you have been with Scentsy for long enough, there's always new bars, there's always new ones that are like, oh my god, I need this in my life. And so you just gotta be more selective with it, and rotate it out, because some of them will come back eventually. But yeah, Cucumber Lime was really good scent. Atlantic Air. This is another great one. This usually comes back in the spring, summer. This is a slightly more cologne-based fresh aquatic scent. So think like men's body wash, almost adjacent. It's a very nice fragrance. I do enjoy it. Excuse me. I don't think it's in my club right now, but that's okay, because I have other scents that are similar profiled and do just as well, even if they're not quite the same. All right, let's move on. So, Aloha Orchid. Oh, I was going to wait for that. Let's come back to that one. Yeah, we'll do it right now. Why not? So this is the current scent of the month, the May scent of the month, I believe. Yeah. This is very strong. You do get like a tropical zing to this. I don't have the scent notes in front of me, but I want to say that I smell some sort of pineapple. There's like an undertone of coconut, but there's definitely orchid in here. You get a little bit of a musk to this as well. It's very tropical, floral, fruity. The other thing I will say about this that is more of the letdown than the actual like profile of the bar is I feel like we've had a fragrance not so long ago that was almost a carbon copy of this. I couldn't for the life of you tell you what it is, but I swear we've had one. It's not Aloha Citrus. That's a different scent. But there are certain nods in this one. It's almost like if we combined a couple fragrances that we've had all together and put them in a bar. So, like, if I had to guess based on things that I would... this would be like if you took... This is a good, like, pop quiz. Maybe if you took Aloha Citrus, Hibiscus Pineapple, and Iridescent Pearl, and threw them in a blender, you'd kind of get this fragrance. Okay, so it's a great fragrance, and it kind of does a lot of, or a bit of what each of those ones do, but not exclusively. Just kind of like an all-in-one, powers combined. Great performer, but I don't feel like it's necessarily anything new or revolutionary. So that's all I gotta say on that one. And it's available for 10% off during the month of May. All right, next we have Lake My Day. This is one of the 10 new ones. This is my not favorite of the new ones, but it's in the top 5. I feel like there's a definite winner for me, and then there's like the other 4. This is one of the other 4. But this is a very nice, deep, rich cologne body wash sort of thing, like men's, like a sports fresh sort of smelling cologne, like bergamot, crisp sort of thing. I was expecting this to be more like water and like our infernal water times 10 sort of sense, but this is more cologne. And so this one is in my club. It will stay there, at least for now, until one of the other cologne scents usurps it. But I do like this one. It's more of a medium, maybe medium soft even fragrance, so it's not gonna like choke you out of a room, but it does hold its own. Like you'll smell it throughout the day. Speaking of my top one, Mountain Sunset. This is the like spring revamped version of Cozy Cardigan, and I am living for it. Like it went into my club the instant I smelled it. I didn't even have to warm it. It was in my club. And I still love it. I still love it. It performs amazingly. It reminds me of a different variation on Cozy Cardigan. So it's like they both smell amazing and they're different enough that I want to keep both of them. Great performer. Very fresh kind of cozy fragrance. Similar to if you've smelled Cozy Cardigan, you know what I kind of mean there. It's not quite as romantic sort of leaning as Cozy Cardigan, but you still get a lot of that sort of cozy vibe going on. Love this fragrance. If you like things like Cody Cardigan, that's my new name, my stage name, just kidding. If you like Cozy Cardigan or things along that vein, I would strongly recommend you trying this one. And that is going to stay in my club. Tinkerbell, Sweet and Sassy. So this is a citrusy scent. It smells a lot like clementine cupcake without the cupcake note. Or one of our like lemon cupcake scents that's actually like a orange cupcake or some nonsense, but it's not. Cutie pie cupcake? No, not that one. Maybe it's in our catalog right now. I don't know. One of those orangey, citrusy cupcake scents that we have. It's basically that minus the cupcake scent. So if you don't like the bakery versions or the cupcake notes in that, but you love the citrus overtones to it, that's what the scent is. That's literally what the scent is. It's just they took the cupcake out of the clementine or cutie pie or whatever the heck it's called. Okay, that's what this scent is. It's great if you love citrus or like citrus with a sort of sweet flair to it. This is a good one to try. You do get like sugary nut notes to this without it being a cupcake. That's all I'm going to say with that one. It performs pretty well too. I'm not going to keep it in my club, but it does what it needs to. Mango Matcha is next. This is another one of the new ones, I believe. And this is good. You get the matcha note, you get the mango note. This is a more authentic mango, I think, than the mango margarita or the mango wildflower or the mango collection had, because it was supposed to be inspired off of go-go mango, which I still don't really believe is true mango scented. But that being said, this is not going to go in my club. I think it's a good one to warm if I'm in a mango-y mood, but I'm not a huge matcha person, so as the mango disappears, the scent kind of loses its luster for me personally. But it performs quite well. Moving right along, we'll do all the other ones, and then we'll end up with like the Father's and Mother's Day and like the new upcoming 3 or whatever. So, got through a bar of Bonfire Beach. This is literally Marshmallow Fireside dupe, but with like a salty sea sort of overtone. It's a hint. It's not like you're just gonna get a bunch of sea salt or anything, but you definitely feel like it's the bonfire that's at the beach rather than just a bonfire marshmallow fireside sort of thing, like in a forest or whatever, or campsite. And it's strong. But if you're not a fan of smoky scents, it does have a smoky tone to it. It's not like super heavy, but it's enough that it might aggravate you. So just be mindful of that if you do pick it up. Tropic Nectar is one of the next. It's one of the 10 new ones. I talked about this at length in one of the other videos. I think Holly, you commented about asking whether I felt that this was the most fruity or whatnot of the fruit punch scents that we have, or most authentic or least sugary. I think realistically this one is the most authentic in terms of like it's a blend of tropical fruits in a sort of punch setting rather than the ones that are very candied or artificial or smell like, you know, Kool-Aid high school fruit punch high C juice box sort of scent. Like this is more of like what if you were to make from scratch fruit punch, not using artificial sweeteners and like powders and things, and we're just like throwing some tangy zesty fruits in there and then like some juice mix base or whatever, cranberry juice, I don't know. This is more tart and pungent. And I think if you are looking for that sort of authentic fruit punch feel rather than the cloying, you know, probably bad for you high fructose corn syrup fruit punch, this is the one you want to get. This is very much more like real and authentic taste scenting, and it's more tart rather than sweet, or tangy, I should say. And tart's not really the word I want to look for. But it's more tangy. You definitely get more of that like pungent tang rather than the sweet, almost too sweet side of fruit punches that we have. So hopefully that answers your question. Sorry that it took me forever to respond to it, but that is Tropic Nectar. And if you want to listen to more about this one, check out the worm reviews of the 10 new fragrances. I think I mentioned that earlier. So broken record over here. Another 10 new fragrance member, Peace Lily be with you. This is a nice floral with a lot of green apple. It makes it more dewy and aquatic, but you do definitely get the green apple note. So if you do not like a sweet sort of green apple, this is not a fragrance for you. Like, it's not just lilies of the valley or whatever. And I'm a little sad about that because I was kind of hoping for something a little bit more reminiscent of my childhood. And this just was like green apple surprise. Well, if you get past that part of the warming phase, it does really get me closer to that Lily of the Valley scent and nostalgic scent that I was looking for. Kind of like what I got from Oh Snapdragon last year. But they just decided to put a ton of green apple in here. I hope I didn't just like waft into my nose and inhale some wax residue. Nope, I don't think so. Anyways, that is that one. Vitamin Unwind is next. I love this. It's from the Vitamin collection that we had a while back. I'm not sure that this was my favorite from the collection, but it was a close one up there. And so I got a bar of it to like see because it's in my club still. And I'm going to be honest with you, I took this out of my club. One, because I have the whole rest of the spring, summer to decide if I want to put it back in there. But the other part about it was I like the scent, but I don't necessarily love it compared to some of the other ones that I have now smelled. So very nice scent, but will it be in my club? I don't know. I have a room spray of it now since they have it in room spray form now. So I was happy about that. We'll go with it. Next is chamomile petals, or as I like to call it, chamomile. For any of those of you who've seen the TikTok about like the little, oh, we want some tea. We have Earl Black, Earl Grey, Black, Green, and he like mispronounces it as chamomile. And the guy's like, it's chamomile, and then goes like, tells everyone else. I was like, no! Okay, you had to be there. But if you've seen that one, you get what I mean. Anyways, so chamomile petals does smell like said thing, chamomile. And it does smell like tea. So if you like chamomile tea or the scent of it, this is very strongly that scent and not much else. It works. It's strong, but if you don't like the chamomile scent, maybe not a good choice for you. I was indifferent about this. I like chamomile tea. I don't want my house to smell like chamomile. Like I poured my tea everywhere. But it performed pretty well. It was consistent throughout the day at a pretty medium strong sort of level. So there is that. Next, I got through a bar picked for you. This is an oldie. It's like from 2019, maybe? 2020? I don't know. This is a Mother's Day collection, like Once Upon a Daydream. And the closest one that you can find to this one in retail stores that I found is Sensational's Perfect Day. And it's not quite as dewy and like honeydew melon as this one is. I adore this fragrance. And it's like fresh florals and dewy honeydew. And it's just like so delicious. And it's staying in my club. And I adore it. Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't get it again. But if we have voting in this upcoming one and it's up there, put that on your list of ones to try to bring back. Spring has sprung. Picked for you. Those are some really, really amazing fragrances that I would love to see come back for people to try again. All right. Got through a bar of Winter Cypress. This is like the bars that never end. I think I got these from another consultant who was like destashing. I just bought them in bulk, and I loved the scent, or so I thought. I just kind of liked the scent, and then there were certain parts of warming this where I got really sick of warming it, and so like now I'm just trying to get through the last little bits of it. Sometimes I've gifted away a bar or two here and there as a thank you, but it's a nice cologne adjacent fragrance. It performs decently well. It just, there's an off note to it that sometimes if I'm not in the right mood just does not hit me right, and I'm like, ugh. All right, got through a bar of Sunburst Bamboo. This was, like I said, this is a bamboo meets cucumber fragrance. Very fresh, very dewy, crunchy, juicy. If you love cucumber fragrances, this is a great one. If you love bamboo, it's a great one. More cucumbery than bamboo. If you're looking for more straight up bamboo scents, Banana Leaf and Bamboo from our current catalog is definitely the one to try. But at the time, there were very few bamboo-based scents in our catalog, so that was kind of a nice addition there. Another Phineas and Ferb Best Day Ever. We know what I think about that right now. Let's move on. Oh, that's convenient. I think these are all, yeah, these are from the Easter or Valentine's. It can't have been that long since I've done one of these videos. This has got to be from the Easter collection. So we have Pinkberry Fluff, Lavender Cotton, and not Lavender Cotton. That's not the one I was looking for. Haha, Violet Spun Sugar. Faked you. Faked you out. All right. Pinkberry Fluff, Violet Spun Sugar, and Mandarin Zest. These were a trio for the Easter collection, I believe. Pinkberry Fluff. Let's just go through them really quick. Beautiful scent. Very soft. It's like marshmallowy, slight berry notes. It's like if, one of those two scents that always come back all the time. Sugar and pink haze, I think it's called. If those two scents had like an off child with like a vanilla marshmallow, that would be this scent. Except that the child is very shy and likes to hide. Because it's a very, 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 very soft performance scent. Which is probably for the better, because I think if it was any stronger, it would probably lean towards cloying. And we don't really like cloying in this abode, so there is that. So very nice sort of profile to the scent. Abysmal performance. Then we had violet spun sugar, because if we haven't had enough spun sugar based scents, now we have to put violet into it. And I had high hopes because of the name Violet. Didn't really meet those. It was probably maybe the strongest of the three, I would argue, in terms of throw and performance. But it wasn't as sugary sweet as I expected, which was a good thing. But it also didn't feel like it knew its identity. Like it was trying too hard to be something more than just like a spun sugary scent. But it wasn't quite... It almost kind of reminds me of like a very soft version of like a sweet tart or a nerd runt sort of scent. Like when you smell them and you get the like sugary sort of tone, but it's a little pungent, a little tart to it. That's kind of what I get. This like a muted version of that. And not a bad fragrance by any means, but just not something I necessarily want my whole apartment to smell like. Like I just want to eat candy. I don't want my place to smell like Willy Wonka's. And then we have Mandarin Zest. I think out of the three, overall, this is my favorite. I think I had this in my club. I think I pulled it out. I'm not entirely kicking myself for doing that, but I did really like this scent. It's a more muted mandarin scent, and it really does give you like the zest of mandarin rather than just straight up like mandarin splash or mandarins in a prosecco or mandarin combination number 725. I really liked this one. I will have to double check and see if it's still in my club now. Now I'm curious, because if it's still in there, it will stay in there for a little longer. But it's a great scent. I don't think it's still available because it was from a while back. But if it is, or that 3-pack shows up in clearance or something, snag a bar of this. This one is probably my favorite. All right, now we can go through these last ones and then the newest ones so that I can attempt to look like I, still get and do these videos more frequently. Which I'll work on, I promise. Lavender Cotton, which is not part of the Easter collection, but this is more cotton than lavender, but it is probably my favorite of the laundry-esque sort of scents that we have. You do get a nice sort of like coziness. It's not straight up herbal lavender. It's more of like a floral, light, perfumey lavender, so it's not overwhelming in that sense. I love it. You get a lot of nice cotton scent in there too. Weirdly enough, I don't necessarily love this in the laundry collection when we had it in there, but I like it or love it in the bars and the room sprays. So that's, I don't know. Riddle me that. That one's in my club though. Inhale, Exhale, I already talked about that. Winter Cypress, already talked about that. Woodland Suede. Oh, Woodland Suede, how much I wanted to love you. This, I love the suede undertone. I love suede things. The woodland part of this got me. And I know this, a lot of people are raving about this bar. I really like this bar. Don't get me wrong. I like it. But it does have some nods to, I think it's, I don't remember if it's Better Homes and Gardens or Sensationals, but one of the two. Fragrant Woodland Walk. And my problem with that scent was that it has a weird earthy, burnt, dried leaf undertone, whatever you want to call it, that just I couldn't reconcile, and it kind of makes me a little, not to say nauseous per se, but like heading towards that route if I smell it for long enough over the course of existence, or I was stuck in a room with it. And this gives me a slight nod to that. So I don't think this scent by itself did it to me, but it's very reminiscent. Like the upper woodland tone of this is very reminiscent to that. And so personally, I took it out of my club. I was like, I want to because it's suede, but like between this and Vanilla Suede, when Vanilla Suede comes back, I would give it Vanilla Suede another go to be back in my club. But good scent, just not for me. Moving on, almost there. Pretty and Plum, an old but goodie. Got these in clearance. This is kind of like adjacent to sweet plum pastry. It's more rich and like just plummy rather than a pastry delight. I like this one a lot. I kind of wish I had it in my club, but can't have them all, I guess. Vanilla Blackberry. This is a scent and warmer of the month. It was not a warmer of the month. It was just a scent of the month. Calm down, Johnny. This is different than Black Raspberry Vanilla, which is more black raspberry heavy with a hint of vanilla. This is more vanilla with a hint of berry, in this case blackberry. And it has a little bit more of a, not powdery note, but Febreze kind of, I guess powdery note is the way to say it, or like musky note to it that kind of like mellows it as well. And it's sweeter than Black Raspberry Vanilla, shockingly. I like it. I think I had this bar and maybe another one. I took it out of my club. It's a nice scent, but I didn't need it. And then Stargazing here. This is another scent of the month from Once Upon a Time. Wanted to love this. This is like a hybrid or more intense jammy time sort of fragrance, but more herbal and medicinal and less sweet pea. It has some lavender in here too, I think. But very much a nighttime sort of scent. A little bit too herbal medicinal for me, though, I've realized. So this one is also not in my club anymore. All right, so we got about 9-10 bars left. Let's go through these, and I'll give you some opiniones. So Pink Coconut was the last month's scent of the month. I have a bone to pick with Scentsy soon. So Pink Coconut smells really good. You get like the sandy note underneath it. You get this lovely pink coconut fragrance. Fresh, kind of like beachy vibes. Abysmal performer. Oh my god. Love the scent. Love the kind of almost musky, sandy undertones in the room spray. But my god, I warmed the whole bar in this room. Like, closed the doors and windows and everything, and it was just a faint whisper. Love the scent. Hate the performance. So, it's not in my club for that reason. Then, we get to Mother's Day, and what shows up? After we've had the pink coconut, now we have the blue coconut with the beach. This smells... This is a better performer. Let's start with that. Let's start with the good. You do get coconut. You do a very similar coconut to pink coconut, even though this is called blue coconut, because I don't think food coloring is going to change the scent of the coconut. Then you get some more strength. So this is like a medium performer. I wouldn't go medium strong, definitely medium, maybe medium soft, but solid medium. And then you get to beach. Now, for those of you who have been around Scentsy for a bit, we are all familiar with the fragrance that is just called beach, right? That one. You know, that one that like is very polarizing too, which I abhor and think is terrible and doesn't smell anything like a beach whatsoever. And then there's other people who like rave about it left and right. This fragrance is like if you took the coconut fragrance that we all like from, say, like coconut cotton, right? Love coconut cotton. We took that coconut fragrance and we interjected just a little bit of beach into this bar. Just enough to make me question whether or not I love this bar or want to vomit from this bar. Okay, maybe I wouldn't do that far. That's a little bit dramatic. But it gives it like this weird, pungent off tone underneath it when it's warming every so often, and it drives me absolutely up a wall. And I'm just like, why didn't we just leave it at blue coconut? Why did we have to have the beach there? Like, the beach kind of ruined the coconut scent a little bit. Like, I so wanted to like this because I was like, oh my gosh, when it first started warming, I was like, oh my god, it's like coconut cotton without the cotton note, and it's also great, and it's like filling in the blanks that I thought, like, pink coconut struggled with performance, but it was a beautiful scent. This one doesn't struggle so much with performance, but man, that little weird off note to it is just kills my vibe. So this one is not going in my club, sadly. But I still have coconut cotton in my club, so I'm not mad. That's how I have to feel about that Mother's Day fragrance. Then we get wildflower cotton, and it's a whole different ballpark. This one went instantly into my club. This is like a hybrid between like lavender cotton meets Mountain Sunset, the new fragrance, meets a field of wildflowers that are not overly like pungent and in your face, like just hints of them. And this is just such a cozy, delightful, makes you want to snuggle up and just take a nap sort of fragrance. Oh my god, this is amazing. This This I would want in an actual laundry collection. This is phenomenal. It's so unisex in that sense, and it's just a beautifully crafted scent. Oh my goodness. It's not heavily floral. It's not heavily cotton. It's just a well blended, cozy, makes you want to curl up together scent. This is in my club. It's going to stay there forever. I wish I could get this in a room spray and all the things. That one they did amazing. Blue Coconut Beach, I would say meh. Then we get to Father's Day. Desert Rock and Citron and High Mountain Lake. So let's start with this one. So I am not a big fond fan of citron scents in general. I feel like they do a weird sort of stinging, like alcohol-y undertone, kind of like the kick of if you smell a glass of tequila. That sort of undertone, that sort of citrus but boozy, almost adjacent scent. Or like citronella kind of scent, like if you like citronella candles, you know, that sort of fragrance. Not my fan. Then you have Desert Rock, which, I mean, I live in Southern California, so I can go out and like smell rocks all day long if I wanted. That's not what this smells like. This is a weird, sort of like I said, almost like agave tequila sort of cologne scent, and it's soft. Like it's a, let me give the good, because it does last a long time. Like I had it going for 2 solid days and I could still smell it. Now, could I smell it like strong at any given point? Absolutely not. It was very much a soft background fragrance at best, but it was like a man lives here sort of vibe. So if you're looking for a background cologne scent, this could work. It's not gonna knock your socks off. It didn't for me. I was a little kind of unimpressed, to be honest. And yeah, I think the citron didn't really help. It's kind of like, it's different, but yeah, didn't really cut it for me. So I can't personally recommend this one. It is a more masculine-y cologne based scent, but not in my particular wheelhouse of things that I would waste time on. However, High Mountain Lake is another story as well. This one I adore. Maybe not as much as Wildflower Cotton, but it's up there. This is a medium scent. It's a little bit more of a performer than the other one. Still struggles a little bit. More of a nice, fresh cologne scent. Again, has a hint of coziness underneath it. You get more of a fresh, like I said, fresh, open, not soapy, not powdery, sort of fresh. Just a fresh, clean men's cologne. Slightly citrus leaning, but more in like the bergamot citrus rather than like citron citrus. Okay, so this is more of like fresh. It is very, very subtle, like light noted, maybe bergamot, like a hint, like a drop in the background. But you get more of like a sea coastal vibe with this, or like, as they say, the lakeside, the high mountain lake. So it's, think of like a high altitude lake where it's crisp and clear. You still have that masculine vibe, but like it's like snow-capped mountains and like nice trees, but it's not piney. It's like fresh. Oh my goodness, this is a good scent. Highly recommend this. So as far as Mother's Day and Father's Day go, they both had one clear winner for me and one that was not horrible, but questionable in terms of content. And then upcoming, I don't know what this collection is for, but I think this is the summer collection, but it's a trio. And I just got it because it was like, I could get early access as a consultant. So I was like, why not? Let's warm it and see. So sorry, this is not in another video, but these are upcoming. So we have Tangerine and Sugarcane, Pineapple Dragon Fruit, and Ocean Air and Coconut Water. So Tangerine and Sugarcane. I don't have the scent notes for these. I assume there's tangerine in this and sugarcane at the very least, but I've been fooled before. This is probably my favorite of the three. You do get a nice, great tangerine scent. And then you get that sugarcane sort of sweetness, but it's not like a cloying artificial sweetener sugar. It's like that sugarcane, so you get a little bit of the dewy aqua undertone to it as well, that you would like if you open a fresh branch of sugarcane and gnawed on it, which is I've done before and is absolutely delicious. Like if you want sugar, get a sugar cane, open that baby up, and go to town. Your sweet tooth will, like, be on cloud 9 and never want candy from a store ever again. Seriously, though. It's life-changing. Anyways, this is beautiful. Really like it. Great performer. Lasts all through the day. Medium strong strength. I didn't think it would be, and it blew my mind because when I first opened it and was, like, trying to rub it to be like, what does this smell like? I could not for the life of me smell anything. I was like, what is happening here? Is my nose broken? Does this not work? Is this, like, nothing in it? Like, what's going on? And then I wormed it and it was, like, a whole different story. So if you get this bar and you, like, smell it on cold and wonder why on earth it smells like almost nothing or very faint, wait until you warm it. You will be happy with this, I promise, if you like tangerine. Okay, so that one might actually make it into my club. My next favorite was Pineapple Dragon Fruit. This is a very fresh, fruity scent. This is very much, you get a lot of pineapple and you get a lot of dragon fruit and whatever other fruits in between. This is a I want to say, like, it's like a refreshing green tropical fruit. So it's not palm, so don't think like Rainforest Bungalow or those, like, pungent leafy greens that kind of, like, make you feel a little, like, awkward, like the Wally bar or anything like that. This is like a fresh, soft, lush green scent, like rainfall and lush green sort of scent. Plus pineapple, and it's really nice pineapple juice, nectar, whatever it is. It's like nice sweetened pineapple juice. Like, I want to drink this. And then you get the dragon fruit. This is a great bar. It's a great performer. Oh my gosh, lasts all day. No losing steam in performance, which is surprising for, again, a fruity scent. This is, in terms of performance, I think this is the best performer of the three, but it was a close second to the tangerine one in overall how I felt about, like, if I wanted to put it in a club. Very good scent, though. May put it in my club for a little while, just, you know, until I think about it. And then my least favorite of the three was Ocean Air. Where have we talked about that? Maybe in another video ad nauseum. And coconut water. So, I don't, like, before I talk about this bar, because it's not that terrible or anything like that, but Scentsy had, like, a spice season, and every scent in like the catalog, even the ones that weren't supposed to be, had some sort of spice in them, basically. And now we're doing, like, the coconut variant on that. I'm like, I love coconut scents. Don't get me wrong. Like, give me a good coconut scent and I'm happy. But, like, when every scent now has some sort of nod to coconut, it gets a little old. Like, really? Did we just buy way too much? Was coconut fragrance oil on sale this week at Ralph's or something? Or Kroger? Like, what's going on? Calm down. So, let's talk about this. Ocean Air and coconut water. On cold, this is my favorite of the three. On warm, this is my least favorite of the three. Riddle me that. So, this gives me almost the same coconut scent that Blue Coconut Beach had, that Pink Coconut had. Like, we're like recycling the same coconut fragrance oil throughout all of these bars. Like, it's not a different coconut oil. You cannot convince me that this coconut water is any different from Blue Coconut and Pink Coconut. The coconut is the consistent. Now, the volume of oil that you put in, or the ratio to make it throw, may be different, or where you bought the oil, but the scent is fundamentally the same on the coconut side. Now, it does have a little bit more of a watery, aquatic, ocean sort of vibe, and it has an overtone of, like, an ozonic sort of marine air. It's not a sea salty air, and I think that is my first problem with this. Like, actually, I think it's my biggest problem with this. You call a scent Ocean Air, and there is no sea salt that I can discernibly smell in this scent. Now, granted, in my last fragrance feedback, I just went to town about how all the Ocean Air scents are basically the same thing and obnoxious and this and that and the other, blah, 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 blah. I get it. That's true. That has not changed. But when you get one that says ocean, not lake air, not inland sea air, not pond air, but ocean, and we all know that the oceans are salt water, and I do not smell any salt in the air component of said ocean. Really? You know? So, I think, to be quite honest, and if I were motivated enough, which I'm currently at the moment not, because reasons. But if you were to warm this and mix in like a cube of something that has a very strong sea salt note to it, like maybe By the Sea, is it Shoreline Drive maybe? If you were to put like a cube or half a cube of that in here, something with a sea salt note, I think that would rectify almost all of the problems that I have with this bar. Because it smells like a fresh waterside coconut. So instead of like the blue coconut at the weird beach that we don't speak of, like Bruno, now we have the weird coconut sort of vibe at a not ocean side body of water that is probably fresh water and not salty, because I don't smell that in here. So you see my problem here? Like the labeling is just off a bit, and then it's like my sniffer does not agree, and then it just like chain reaction. Anyways, this, if you smelled pink coconut, if you smelled blue coconut beach, this is not much different, I'm gonna be honest with you. It is about the same performance level as blue coconut beach, so that's a good thing. It's a little stronger. It's not like abysmal like pink coconut, but like, come on, Scentsy, can we not, with like a coconut trend now? Like, this is a little excessive. Maybe moving forward, if we're gonna have a theme, we can branch out from the theme a little bit more regularly, just because they're all like shockingly similar. It's like, well, if you miss this one, get this one, because it's virtually the same thing with a weird off tone to it. Doesn't quite ring the same. Anyways, those are the new ones coming out. So I don't know. I think those are coming out in the summer collection or the spring summer. Who knows when those are coming out? Soon. .tm. All right. Anyways, that brings us to the end of our Scentsy Empties. I hope I have enjoyed, or you've enjoyed rather, I've enjoyed doing it, clearly, talking your ear off about all these scents and my unabashed opinions on all of them, including ones that are upcoming. Scentsy, just hire me. Come on. At this point, we gotta work on this portfolio of sniffs. I would like to have a little bit more diverse portfolio of investments for my schnoz and from the customer schnozzes, but that being said, I hope you enjoyed this. If you're new here, consider subscribing. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I don't get to them as quick as I'd like to, unfortunately, but I do eventually try to get to all of them. So, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.